Do you think slasher villains are overdone or underdone in media? I don't care for slasher villains. I just don't find them interesting. I've never cared for them. It's just not a thing that I like. Uh, yeah, I don't know. I've always thought it's kind of reactionary. It's always like, there are these teens in a forest and they're during the summer, and then some guy shows up to ruin the fun. I don't know. Like, I've always felt like a lot of slasher films are kind of rooted in some kind of vindictive joy at young, happy people being, like, killed, which I just don't understand. I don't get it. Like, sometimes the guys are all mean, but I don't want them to die, you know? Like, I don't, I don't take any satisfaction from that at all, really. I mean, like if the films were tonally more about like the horror or whatever, but they're not. They're about the gratuity of like, yeah, young people getting killed. I don't know. Stephen King has said all horror is reactionary. Well, I don't agree with that, but I do think a lot of horror is reactionary. Yeah. Yeah, it comes across like it's a PSA from a bunch of boomers trying to convince you to not like have sex before marriage. It's weird. I don't get it. I saw I Know What You Did Last Summer. I think that fits the category. There was that parody of slasher films where there were the two hillbillies who the kids thought were going to kill them, but the hillbillies were actually nice and the kids kept getting themselves killed. What was that one called? Well, you know what I'm talking about. Tucker and Dale. Yeah. Tucker and Dale. Yeah. I almost said Tucker and Dale versus the Forces of Evil, like some kind of Scott Pilgrim mashup. I don't like parody slashers either. Yeah, I just don't like, I don't know. I just don't care for slasher films that much. No, I have not seen the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Hey, you know it was okay. Here's a slasher film that I want to watch. Okay, you know how half of the movie adaptation of V for Vendetta was watching V like assassinate a bunch of high-profile fascists. Where's the unashamedly political slasher movies? Okay, huh? Like, if you want me to take catharsis from people being murdered, there's a character in V for Vendetta that is just a high priest. I think he's a bishop who is had close ties to the fascist government and rapes children. And then there's just a scene in the movie where he just gets killed. We've done it. We've found a workable formula for catharsis through murder. Fantastic. Well done. Not to say the V for Vendetta movie is necessarily good. I mean, it's good. It's just not, I don't know. It's not like faithful to the comic. It's not great. It's good, right? It's not terrible. Sometimes people get snooty with this stuff. It's like when people say the Watchmen movie is terrible. It's not. The Watchmen movie isn't terrible. I think it's pretty okay, actually. The only problem is the Watchmen movie is adapting like the best graphic novel ever made. So obviously it's gonna like kind of it's going to stand up against a pretty rough comparison, but it's not bad. People say it's with the comparison thing, you know? Some people mistake disappointing for bad. Yeah, you can fairly say that it's disappointing. That I'm fine with, but I don't think it's bad. It's like adapting Lord of the Rings. Well, the Lord of the Rings trilogy was amazing, so, you know. The Watchmen series is definitely left-leaning. Well, yeah. Alan Moore is an anarchist. The original comic is left-leaning. Yeah, I've heard the series is pretty left-leaning. I haven't seen the series, though. I'm fine with just having read the graphic novel. Yeah. All of Snyder's movies have their heads extremely far up their asses. Yeah, it is kind of incredible how Snyder has cultivated a fan base of insufferable, unfuckable men purely by making movies that appeal to insufferable, unfuckable men who think they're all like 180 IQ, you know? Like, every time he comes out with a movie, it's like the new legion of annoying people get this thing to base their personality on. Though nothing will ever come close to the V for Vendetta mask craze, man. That was like, that was way too far. That was way the too far. Yeah, I like the Guillermo del Toro horror anthology. That was pretty good. I like that a lot. The series was so good. Okay. Sucker Punch, that movie is so shit. Yes. Yeah, the Sucker Punch movie is terrible. Didn't the Guy Fawkes mask exist before V for Vendetta? Yeah, it did. Just the V for Vendetta comic brought it into more attention, and then the V for Vendetta movie, like, it made it the whole like annoying internet trend thing, I think. Huge L, what the fuck? Thana, do you like Sucker Punch? Oh my god. Oh my god. Ah, now all the complaints about moderation make sense. Now we see the decision-making capabilities. Oh my god. What is Sucker Punch? It's like, imagine if Scott Pilgrim versus the World was extremely sexist and aesthetically repugnant. I don't know. It's okay. We can all have the things we like. We can all have the things we enjoy. It's anti. I'm not getting into this one. What do you think about Kick-Ass? I hated Kick-Ass. I'm so okay. If you're gonna make like a satirical takedown of the superhero genre, how about put in some effort? Bro, have you ever thought about how like teenagers fighting crime would be fucked up? Really? Oh no! Whoa, really? You don't. Oh, whoa! That's crazy. Like, man, there was. I feel like there was almost nothing to it too. It was literally. It was like all edge, no point, man. It was like a pizza cutter. Oh, dude, the protag's like a superhero, but he like gets beat up, and he's like here's a gratuitous shot of like a kid with his teeth knocked out and blood everywhere. And then they. Oh wait, am I remembering this right? Didn't they what wasn't the girl in Kick-Ass like 10, and she was like a daughter father crime fighting team with her father, and they like weirdly, I don't remember if they sexualized the little girl, but I just remember the vibes being off in the comic. Does anyone, am I totally, or is that the movie adaptation? I remember they didn't sexualize her. There was something weird. I distinctly remember something weird happening. I distinctly remember. The comic was very weird about her. Maybe this is like a comic versus movie thing. I don't know. It was that he was named Big Daddy. Well, yeah, that was pretty weird. I don't know. She did lollybait to kill pedos. Oh, was that it? Oh, right, because it's an edgy, gritty superhero thing. So if you have a little girl superhero, then how's she gonna get the villain? She'll do lollybait. Great, thank you. That's great. Thank you. Oh, so edgy, so real. Have you seen Kill Bill Volume 1 or 2? Okay. Kill Bill is very good. Listen, it's different. I don't want to talk about it. Kill Bill is very good. Everyone agrees. Everyone knows this. I'm guessing you didn't like Girl with a Dragon Tattoo? I didn't see it, but because I've heard so much about it, I felt like I've basically just seen the movie in compilation at this point. But no, I haven't seen it. In the second Kick-Ass movie, they made the 14-year-old actress stuff her bra, and she said she won't do another one because of that. Wow. Okay. That seems bad. Have you read the Invincible comics? Yes, I've read all of it. What do you think is the best Quentin Tarantino movie? Yeah, Invincible is way better than Kick-Ass and does basically the same stuff, but better, in my opinion. Best Quentin Tarantino movie. I feel like my take on this is going to be so basic. I mean, in terms of, like, the best movie, structurally, it has to be Pulp Fiction, right? But in terms of the movie that I thought was the most fun, that I enjoyed watching the most, it was Django Unchained. Because it's literally just, like, the most angry, like, blaxploitation film ever made. With the highest budget, too. So I feel like, yeah, I don't know. There were problems with Inglourious Bastards. Like, structurally. I remember there being structural problems with that. But I also feel like those two are elevated by the guy, the German guy. Well, he's German in both, I guess. The guy, he's the dentist in Django, and he's the Nazi in Christopher Waltz? Christoph Waltz, that's right, yeah. Phenomenal actor in both of those films. Phenomenal. So I feel like he really elevated the yeah, the discourse in that. Austrian, not German. Oh, okay. Sorry. Austrian, not German. Reservoir Dogs pretty good too. Yeah, I just haven't rewatched Reservoir Dogs in like forever. It's been so long since I've seen it, and I don't have a great memory of it to begin with. Maybe I would put it over Pulp Fiction, but I don't know. I don't remember it well enough. Yeah, I don't know. I haven't seen Evil Dead. Have you ever seen The Boys? I watched the first 2 seasons of The Boys. Not the third, because watching The Boys honestly just kind of bums me out. This is not an artistic critique. It just bums me out. I know this comes across kind of dumb considering the stuff that I do, but like when I talk on stream, we talk like dreary stuff all the time. When I watch media, I usually like coming away from it feeling kind of happy. The Boys is just like it's just a bucket of bummer, you know? Not a critique of it. It doesn't lower the quality at all. It's just a personal preference thing. There's some stuff I can go through. Don't you like BoJack Horseman? Well, BoJack Horseman is very different from The Boys in terms of its... Yeah, Vermin, we just have different, like, tolerances, I guess. BoJack Horseman, totally different, I think, like, the way... You know, I don't really care about Star Wars that much. Like, there's... Like, it's... Like, The Empire Strikes Back is good. Or, wait. Which one is the fifth one? I can't even remember the names anymore. Like, there are good Star Wars films, but I don't care for them too much. The only Star Wars media I have an emotional attachment to, for real, is the Gen Tartakovsky 5-minute Clone Wars shorts. Because I genuinely believe those were, like, the apex of artistic expression in the entire universe of Star Wars. I really liked those. Those were really good. Yeah, everyone says Andor. Everyone says Andor. I know. Everyone says Andor. I know. You think time-traveling movies could ever be good? What do you mean, could ever be good? Back to the Future already came out 3 times. All 3 Back to the Future movies are bangers. Back to the Future is one of the only AAA, like, big-budget trilogies where every movie is good. You know how rare that is? We gotta watch it, Vermin. No, maybe you're too cynical and modern-brained to enjoy it. Now, I agree the third one is not as good as the first and second, but it's still good. Terminator is also good time travel. Yes, Terminator 2 is a phenomenal movie, 100%. Terminator 1 is fine. Terminator 1, honestly, comes across like more of a like thriller it does kind of come across like a slasher movie, right? Except all the people the Terminator kills are just people who happen to be next to Sarah Connor. Like, it's not like the Terminator shows up at a beach retreat to kill a bunch of horny teenagers, as fun as a movie that would be. Instead, it's, chasing Sarah and killing everyone next to her. Kyle Reese in Terminator 1's really hot. Yeah, he is. Do you guys remember when movies used to have sex scenes? The sex scene in Terminator 1 is hotter than, like, almost any other movie's sex scene because they actually made sex scenes back then. Now, like, I feel like nowadays, whenever they do a sex scene, like, I don't know if it's how, like, they shoot the movies or whatever, but I feel like they're so self-aware about shooting a sex scene that it's so obviously, like, Hollywood sex scene. And then I feel like in Terminator 1, they were literally just like, all right, make it look good. And they, like, hold up, like, a GoPro or something. Like, it came across, like, way the more, I don't know, sweaty and intimate. I don't know. Right, Lord of the Rings? Lord of the Rings is great. The trilogy is great. It's because porn is so accessible now. Yeah, but go back and watch Terminator 1, man. They really looked like they were into it. That looked like it felt good. I've heard sex scenes are horrible for the actresses back then. Yeah, I'm sure they were, and I'm not endorsing that at all. I'm not saying that's what made them better. I'm talking about that movie specifically. I unironically think Terminator 1 would be better if Sarah were black because the Terminator was an anti-cop critique. It would have hit better thematically. I can see that. I feel like Terminator 2 was already so anti-cop that it didn't need to be more anti-cop than it already was. Like, Terminator 2 is already the most anti-cop movie ever made, okay? There's no political argument ever constructed against the police as an institution that hits harder than Terminator 2. And then T3 sucked. Holy shit, T3 sucked. Oh my god. RoboCop? Okay, I was being facetious. Yes, RoboCop is extremely good and you should all watch it. Yes, that is true. But Terminator 2 is very anti-cop. I've not seen Guardians 3. T4 was even worse. I think I saw T4. Yeah. Was T4 the one where they had the CGI Arnold Schwarzenegger? It was, right? Where they, like, were hyping the movie up because they got, like, Prime Arnold back to be a T-800 or whatever. I remember being impressed by that in the theater because at the time it was really uncommon to try to do CGI replicas of actual actors. Terminator or CGI Arnold. I'm sure if I watched it, like, now, it would be really obviously fake. But I remember being impressed by it in the theater. God damn. Okay, wait. That YouTube thumbnail is so much compression that it looks fake, even if it wouldn't normally look fake. Oh, well, this is heavily compressed, too. That looks pretty good. In motion, it looks pretty good, I think. They do this big show-off of his muscles. The funny thing is that the muscles they gave him in the CGI are actually smaller than his real muscles were at the peak of Arnold's... Like Arnold... like he was enormous at the height of his musculature. Look at his middies, bro. Look at these middies. These are like some solid triple G's right here, you know? Dude's 6'2". This isn't short man Cope right here, okay? He's just colossal. Ridiculous. I guess he was a lot smaller when he started doing acting. He's like 23 here or something. I don't know. Man pecs are my weakness. Yeah, wait, what did he look like at 17? The genetics on this guy. Was it at 17 where there were those photos of him, or is it 19? I think this was him at 19. Ridiculous. My God. Insane. They actually made him lose some muscle for Conan the Barbarian because he was too big. Yeah, I mean, once you get muscular enough, it actually gets difficult to move around, so I guess that kind of makes sense. What do you think about the Rocky franchise? I actually think that the first Rocky movie is like an underrated art film. I know they went on to make a bunch of sequels, and people just think of Rocky as another, like, sports dude guy. But the first Rocky movie, I think, had, like, the heart and soul of an art film, I think. You know, it was really, really, really good. Good lesson, too. You know, good message. Oh, yeah, Vermin, we have to watch that. Rocky beat the Soviet Union. That's true. I haven't seen the Rambo movies. Not one of them. I'm sorry. I can't make any comparisons. Have you seen Arnold's Kid? No? This is Arnold's kid? At 22? Holy shit. I mean, man, genetics, right? Like, you know, being an athlete in any capacity is a very, like, genetically determined thing in a lot of cases. You know, hard work can get you far, but to get to the top, genetics helps. He has many kids. Oh, yeah, he has a lot of kids. First Blood is unironically good. Yeah, the funny thing is, speaking of Rambo, I recently, I listened to the Lions Led by Donkeys podcast episodes on the Soviet invasion of Afghanistan, and wow, I didn't realize how bad that was. Holy shit. That was really, 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 really bad. How do you feel about aliens? I only saw the first Alien movie. Apparently the next Terminator movie is going to be based on AI. I saw that, yeah. James Cameron says he's writing a new Terminator movie, but is waiting to see how AI develops. That seems sensible, right? I guess the main problem is that the Terminator series is, like, tired, right? I haven't seen Hellraisers. I have not seen Barry. I haven't seen Avatar 2 either. Terminator was tired 20 years ago. There's just only so much you can do with it, I guess. I don't know. I feel like they need a universe reboot. You've seen Starship Troopers? No. Yes, I have. Yes. It's excellent, of course. And I need to see Snowpiercers. What have you seen? We've been talking about stuff I've seen the entire... Why are you pretending like I haven't seen anything? We've been having a conversation this entire time. Have you seen Jaws? Yes, I've seen Jaws. All right, you're all going insane now. That's enough. No more fun. No more fun allowed. All fun is banned. Permaban for anyone having fun. If you're having fun, report to your nearest chat moderator. Snowpiercer isn't leftist, but it's extremely unsubtle, like a brick to the face. I actually kind of like that, though. Like, okay, I saw Train to Busan recently, and it was the least subtle movie I've ever seen in my life, and I loved it. I don't want to spoil it in case you haven't seen it, but Train to Busan, if you watch that, like, the ethics of Train to Busan could not possibly be more clear. I really appreciated that. They're good ethics.